Welcome to another installment of Inspirational Guns. Got a pretty cool one here and a really good story for this one. So this month we're going to be doing the Ruger Super Blackhawk in 44 Magnum. So what makes this remarkable? Well, what makes this remarkable to me anyway, when I was a kid I would hear from time to time some stories that my dad would tell, and sometimes he would tell some tall tales, and sometimes they weren't so tall after all. Sometimes they were the real deal. And then came the story about my uncle who was in Vietnam. So the story goes like this. My uncle, when he deployed to Vietnam, he carried, as some soldiers did, I don't know how or why, but I have seen documented evidence to back this up. He did carry a big Ruger Super Blackhawk in 44 Magnum while he was deployed overseas. But he had a lot of tales that came back around that I was told over the years. One of them being when he was injured, I'm not going to go into detail about the injury, by a VC soldier, got the drop on him and caused an injury to him. Well, he was able to come back around from the ambush and he took care of business from there, and hence he's still around today. So for years I would hear these stories, but for some reason I always thought it was very unusual that a soldier in Vietnam would be carrying a Ruger Super Blackhawk. So I started looking further into it, and of course I needed to get one. So I went out in the market, and at the time they were actually very hard to find. I don't know why, but they're very difficult to find. Until the day I found this guy in North Carolina. So I got it, and it was actually supposed to be a gift to give to my uncle later on, but as I was to find out, this is the new model. The old model, the 3-screw version, is obviously what he would have had back then. And later on my dad ended up finding one of those, and they went from there. So guess what? I got to keep mine, and I love this thing. This thing is awesome. Probably one of my absolute favorite revolvers. It's big, heavy, and it's accurate. This thing is just a tack driver and a half, and it's just a big hand cannon. I kind of like to think about it as a modern Dragoon, as massive as this thing is, and the power that just comes out of it. Well, anyway, fast forward in time, I went out and I met with my uncle, and I saw with my own eyes his injury from the war. And he started to swap some stories with me, much to my dad's surprise, which he didn't really talk about that kind of stuff, and you don't blame the man for that. But I learned that a lot of the stories, and including the Super Blackhawk stories, were in fact true. It was really something that stuck with me, really something that's memorable to me, and that's why I consider my Super Blackhawk an inspirational gun. Now, even though this is not the gun, I still consider it to be an inspirational gun just for what it represents. It's not just my uncle, it's all the brave men that went out there and sacrificed literally everything and came back to such a nasty world, not what they deserved at all. And it really came with a true reward of confirming some of those old stories I used to hear, and actually hearing them come from the man who made the stories. It's truly humbling, it really is. Well, anyway, that's it for this one. Hope you liked the segment. Shout out in the comments, share some of your stories that you guys have about any kind of inspirational guns that you have. And of course, like, subscribe, share with your buddies, and don't forget to check out our friends over there, Workaday Custom Gun Leather, custom made to order. Link is going to be in the description. Until next time, guys.